The usual, Sammy? Dan asked, tapping the worn menu. You know it, Danny. Samuel grinned, already pushing the menu aside. 2 eggs, bacon crispy, black coffee. The diner buzzed with its usual morning clamor, yet something felt off. A discordant note in the familiar melody. The clatter of plates seemed sharper, the chatter of other patrons strained. Dan noticed it too. A furrow creased his brow. Remember the last time we went hunting, Sammy? Seems like a lifetime ago. Too long, Samuel agreed, his gaze sweeping the diner. The waitress, usually bubbly and quick with a smile, moved with a stiff, unnatural gait. Her eyes, usually warm and welcoming, were blank, vacant. A low growl emanated from behind the counter, not a sound a human could make. Both brothers stiffened. Did you hear that? Dan hissed, leaning closer to Samuel. Samuel nodded, his hand instinctively reaching for the hunting knife he always wore strapped to his ankle, a habit ingrained from years of facing the unknown. The growl came again, louder this time, followed by a string of guttural whispers. The other patrons, oblivious, continued their breakfast, seemingly deaf to the unsettling sounds. Dan's eyes narrowed. Something's not right, Sammy. And I don't mean the coffee. Stay here, Samuel muttered, pushing himself away from the table. His gaze locked on the swinging door leading to the kitchen, the source of the unsettling noises. Dan grabbed his arm. What are you doing? Getting answers, Samuel said, already moving towards the kitchen. He pushed through the door, the smell of bacon and grease replaced by a chilling, sulfurous stench. The kitchen was chaos. Pots and pans clattered to the floor, flames danced menacingly on the stovetop, unattended, and the staff. They were no longer the friendly faces Samuel and Dan knew. Their eyes glowed an infernal red, their faces twisted into grotesque masks of rage. One, the cook, lunged at a cowering customer, his hands transformed into claws. Samuel reacted instinctively, years of hunting honed instincts taking over. He slammed into the possessed cook, knocking him away from the terrified customer. "Danny, now!" Samuel roared, pulling the hunting knife free from its sheath. The silver blade gleamed under the harsh kitchen lights. Dan burst through the door, his own weapon, a heavy iron wrench held high. He met Samuel's gaze, a shared understanding passing between them. This was their life now. Hunters, not the hunted. The diner, no longer a place of comfort and familiarity, had become their hunting ground, and the hunt had just begun.